Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pixel. I just figured out there was a mistake here. Let me give me 1 second to fix it. Okay. Yeah, I should have separate those texts and make them different. Okay. So good afternoon. Today is Saturday, Sunday in some parts of the planet. Uh, Good morning to or night to everyone, or afternoon, depending on the part of the world, of course. I don't think it's afternoon somewhere. But okay. Hi, sweetie. So on today's stream, okay, what will work? We'll work on actually making progress in the design. So we're not gonna make any big change on the mech itself. What we'll work on today is start giving the shape we want. We'll probably start with redesigning the head. Well, not redesigning, because that was just a standby. Designing the head. So we'll work on the head. We'll work on the shoulder armor on the right side. I'll show you the mech itself. I've not worked on. I've gotten some pieces and ideas that I've worked on and just got the pieces, but on it I have not worked yet. And the other thing that, wait, this is what's coming out here. Oh, this is, let me hide the light a little bit better. Sorry about that. So yeah, I worked on one thing. It's not part of the mech, it's part of the design. So it's kind of cheating, but I'll show you, and I'll show you how I build it. And yeah, we'll start working on that. Today's soundtrack, it's provided by Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. I played it on PS2, I believe, about 100 years ago or something like that. But it was basically one of the few first RPGs that I played that was not quite standard, right? And the story is all over the place, but I love it. I remember I played twice, so to get 2 endings. I know there are more, but I just got 2. That's when I had a lot of time. Okay, so back to let's go just talk a bit and see if we can get other people to join. Let me just get this right here. You can see this a bit better. Yeah, let me hide this. Okay. I'm trying to fix something real quick here. Give me 1 second. Fixing the camera. Okay. So basically, we'll start working on this design, right? Okay. Okay, this is where we left off last week. I'll give some time to let people join before I start working on it, but I want to talk about a few things that's on the design that we're going to work on today, right? One thing that I did change is because I was searching for one particular piece and I could not find it, is this piece right here. So I was using, let me see if I can find it here, to tell you which one I was using before. Okay, so I was using this piece, right? And this piece is the one I was planning to use on the shoulder, but I could not find a second one of these. I thought about getting another piece, but I didn't have time to get them. But I did find tons of this piece, which work similar. It's just that it's more a triangle shape instead of a curved shape. But I think it will do the job, and that means not getting an additional set of pieces just for that. Okay. The other thing I want to start talking about is here in the joint, on the hip joint, I'll show you a neat trick that I've learned over the years, right? And perhaps it can help you too. So one of the big problems about small ball joints is that they don't have that much of a friction depending on the weight, right? So one of the first things we can do is we can use rubber tires from Lego to add some friction and even add some shape, right? The main problem is you need to have a specific type of tire on that, okay? Here are 3 types of tire that could work for that, and I'm trying to search for another one or 2 other ones that I know will not be correct in many ways. And this is just to explain to you about what type of friction you can add just by adding a simple piece. So these are 5 types of tire that you can use in a way to add friction to the build, especially on this side. So these 2 types of tire, the ones that use the small wheel, are perfect for this, right? And I'll show you in a minute why. The other thing is about the width. The width of the tire helps a lot. This one has the whole side that we need, but it's too wide. And I'll show you why specifically this is not good for the technique I'm going to show you. It's not necessarily super legal, but it works. So if you put the tire inside here, you're basically tying up or adding more friction to this because it's going to be closer because of the strength of the tire. It's going to be a bit stretched out. But the problem with this width is that it doesn't reach, it's too wide, and you won't allow this to attach correctly, right? Because it will clash with this. So in theory, or what you should do is pick one of these 2 smaller tires. These 2 wider tires are the ones that use a bigger type of wheel connection. The problem with this is here it's too loose. It's not giving any friction to this. So it could work as a cover because it will cover the part, but it will provide no friction at all. Same with this piece. It's just there, but it does provide cover to the piece if you want to like dress it up, but it doesn't provide friction. This one here is your go-to because it's super thin and will provide a ton of strength to the ball joint socket, and it also allows it to move perfectly because it will allow it to click like this and will still allow some movement on the piece. The thing is, when it's about legs, I usually like to use this one a bit more because it's a bit wider, and legs require a bit of more strength because it's more heavy than arms, right? So I will put this on legs, and I will do the same with the arms if I want to add friction, and I'll add the smaller tire, right? So having this piece here, it gives you the chance to give more friction on the socket, on the small ball joint socket, right? And when you do that and you just connect it here, okay, I just made a mess because again you need more strength to add that. When you do that, you're actually adding more friction and covering the design itself. So that's something good that's coming out of here because you're basically adding friction to the hip using the small ball joint, and also you're providing, it doesn't look like a ball joint anymore. It just looks like it's a rubber connection, and it gives a better look and friction. And again, it's not super legal. Well, at least I have not seen it on any legal build by itself, but it's using Lego pieces like tires. So these are Lego tires. You can find them in different sets. Hi Sato, how are you? I was just speaking about how you can add tires to ball joints, to small ball joints, in order to disguise the connection and add more friction. And I was explaining real quick. So this is just a socket, an empty socket. If you use this tire, which is like a medium, not medium, but it's not the smallest, because this is the smallest one. The smallest tire connection, which uses the single pin that's split. Hi Kiko, how are you? And this one here is like a bit bigger. So, and I was explaining, using this, you can provide cover to the ball joint, but it doesn't add any friction because it's just too loose. But if you add a tire of the smallest size to a ball joint, you can provide some sort of friction to it, because it's going to be pressing it together, and also providing some cover to it, which is what I did here on the hip joint, right? And this being the hip joint, this guys is also at some design concept and volume, correct? 1 second here, I'm checking out the music volume. I'm just getting some feedback on the new mic. Yeah, I do like this new mic. The only problem with it is that it uses like D batteries. So it's not like it's getting power out of the computer. It's something I have to be aware of. So if my audio sometimes just goes, let me know. Chat, and I'll try to fix it. Hi Lunaire Claire. Hi. So yeah, those are the only two fixes that I did off camera, but there were two really small, and basically because I found the tires to add to the ball joints here and the hip, again to add friction and to add cover, and these two pieces. But we'll start today with tons of changes, right? And with a single thing that I work on my end, but I'll show you how to do it at the end of the stream. Basically, I made the sword, or at least a beta of the sword. You can see the size comparison. I'll show you at the end of the stream, and this is not a final design. I was just working and I had some time to work on it. This is not necessarily like a part of the build, so it's not a super cheat, but it's kind of a cheat. But I'll show you how to build it. I think it has depending on the width. And that's my point. If you use tires of this width, which are the smallest width and the smallest like type of tire, it will limit or take out a bit of the motion, but not too much, while providing, and I'll show you with an arm, right? So this arm here, let's add the smallest type of tire, and you can see it has some leeway, and you can still see a bit of the socket of the ball joint, right? And if you connect it here, like I'm showing you, it still has range of motion. Still, you can take it out and move it quite far, as you can see. So it doesn't lose that much of movement, but it provides extra friction and coverage, which is something that you might want to consider, right? Let me do the same with the other arm so that we can show you, because right now it just looks like a ball joint. It doesn't have any type of cover at all. But if you put the tire here, right, the tire will work as a cover for the ball joint while also providing friction. Again, this is not my technique. I believe I saw it somewhere on one of all the builders. I don't know exactly which. It was a lot of time ago, but it is a neat technique that you want to consider for future builds, right? Especially when considering the ball joints and places you want to decor without actually building around it. And I believe this provides a good solution for bigger joints like shoulders and hips, because it will provide cover without taking out motion, or taking a bit of motion, not too much, and adding additional friction. So that can work really well. Okay, so with that done, I believe I'm gonna start working on taking out or fixing some color or different color things on the mech, right? The first thing I want to fix is because I noticed that I'm not going to use this, is this side pins that you can see here. I only need the end pin on this. So I'm going to take out this one. I'm going to use, so I'm going to keep, but this one at the end I don't need anymore. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. Let me take it out real quick. And what I'm going to do is, if you have 1x1 blocks, you put them there. Hi Cobalt, good morning. Yeah, Sado, it's a neat technique. I don't remember where I learned it, but it's good. It's a good to know technique, right? So by doing that, now let me try to replace it with just a simple. You can either, again, on this particular build, you can either put a single 1x1 brick. I didn't find any plain 1x1 brick. So what we could do is either use any substitute, which could be cylinders or just simple 1x1 plates, 3 of them stacked together, or depending on if your build allows it or not, you can just try to add a single. For example, this one allows the connection of a single brick with a single pin on the side. If you do that and connect to the end of on the brick that has the opening at the end, it will actually give extra friction, right? This way. And you will have a stronger connection without having any pins on the side here, which is I figured out for this build is what we're going to need, right? And for the end, I'm going to change to a 1x1 brick with the end opened and the single pin on the side that's a bit that has some space. So let's do that on both sides. And we're going to add, let me try to find some pieces here because I did my homework this time and I did get some pieces separated that I knew I was probably going to use. So I'm still probably going to search for pieces. Yes, the headlight brick, correct. So now put a single cheese loaf at the end here. Let's continue with the color scheme here, and let's put it back here. What it does here is it's black, so it's kind of a bit hard to see what it does. Let me try to get some light on it. Perhaps on this camera you'll be able to see it better. Okay, so what it does is it will allow you to, when it's opening the cockpit, it will limit. It will still be able to move this part, and once you have bricks on this side, it will limit to this position. This will be the top position, and it's not going to get any farther than this, while still providing some coverage. So let's put this here, and now we'll start working with another part that's on the chest. So last week I had some golden pins here, and what I did replace was putting another cheese loaf in black of 1x1. And what I'm going to do here, again, not super legal technique, but if you kind of force it a bit, you can put it in diagonal here. So if you put it in diagonal, it's going to give a really good shape that's going to continue the body shape while still providing some coverage and volume. Let me show you on this side. So you can see it's going to add volume growing up and still provide some volume on this side. Do you see it? So those are, I been thinking about doing a few things, how to build or how to work on this design. But I've thought about many changes, so that those are where I'm going to start working this week. I think we can advance a lot this week. The other thing I plan on changing was the plate armor on the side. We were working with this too, right? We're working with either the 3x3 with slopes or the 4x2 with slopes. And I decided to change that completely and go for a 3x2 with a single plate of the color gradients, right? So it's going to have less volume on the side, but it's going to still look like it should. But it's going to make the arms look smaller while still getting the gradient. And I'm going to change that on the other side too. 1 minute. Let me check real quick on this stream if the brick build is on the hashtag. I forgot to do that. While it's loading, I'll just look for this. Right? 1 second. So how have you been? Let me know in the chat if you want to have a discussion over a particular topic. Just let me know. Give me 1 second. I'll do some change on the stream real quick. But yeah, we can work on showing or doing this. So by doing this plate in colors, can just put it here on this side. And you will have less volume while still having gradient. Oh, good to know. Give me 1 second. So, like I said, I thought about many changes during the break or from last stream to this stream. And the other thing is I was searching for ton pieces, right? All the pieces that I found in this particular colors were these quarter circles, both in pink and in blue. Hey, don't worry. If it's Sunday, get a great breakfast. Sunday breakfast is like a staple in ending a good week. Oh, you can actually add part files into the software. That's interesting. That is actually real. Because you won't be limited anymore by their updates if you can find the file to add, which was the main problem. Okay, so brick building is done. It's actually better. Go back to work. Okay, thanks for the patience. Okay, so showing you these two pieces, let's add them on this side, which is why I decided not to go with any bricks on this side, because this is all the coverage we're going to need for now here. So now let's add these quarter circles here and here. And with that we'll add some volume to the chest area without restricting too much of the movement of the arm, right? So the arm's still going to be able to move while still having some additional volume here at the front, and of the color that it belongs to. So with that, we've set that up. Next, we're going to work on a bit of the coverage of the upper legs, right? And for that, I have taken into consideration building something like this, or starting with something like this. I think this part is it usually comes in cars with Lego. Yes, from what I know, again, my knowledge is limited, but I did use LDD. The the thing about LDD is this, it's easy to use. But like you explained to me last week, um, you're you're very limited, and the studio, if it gives you all the options to work on, does it allow you to work on illegal connections? I'm curious about that because LDD did not allow you to work on things that you consider illegal. So I don't know if Studio does that. So let's take out this knee piece, and here, as you can see, you have the 4x2 plate and the connection that's 5x2 on the bottom. Now just put, or let's work on putting 3x2 in black here at the top, and then let's connect this here. I like this piece a lot. Again, I think it usually comes from cars or something like that. Yes, making connections or not regular simple connections on LDD was a pain, or if not impossible, which was a big problem when I tried to translate some of my builds to LDD, and which is why I almost never used it. But if Studio does that, Saro, let me know, and I'll see if I can invest some time on it. So okay, 3x2 plate, and this, I think it's a tire cover or something like a vehicle cover. That's usually on Lego parts. That's a 1/4 in length, but it goes down 2 plates, right, with a small side cover. Then put a 2x1 slope here at the top. And for this part, if you happen to have the big 2x4 big slope that goes again two sides, you can put that here. But I just found out the single ones, but I have tons of the single ones, so now I can use 2 here to add the same volume. And this is basically how I'm going to start covering the leg and add some volume and shape to the leg without actually building anything on the sides, right? The next thing I want to add, and it's something I've been thinking a lot, is knee cover. So the knee cover, remember we were using like teeth to give some volume at the side? Well, I kind of decided again going to a different direction with that, because we might add some volume or different volume if we just go ahead and use these 2x2 plates, side plates, with a single 2x1 starting at the top. If we put those two here, sorry, let me put it in a different way. If you take out this part of the build, and you just replace the blue 2x2 plate. Yes, that might be a tough question if you haven't used LDD, but does it allow, or try to think if it does it allow you to make connections that would be difficult in real life with real pieces? That's the interesting question. If you can, if you don't know, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So again, we replace these 2x2 plate with these 2 side plates, and if we add them here, you'll see that the connection is there. We're also adding things to build on the side here, and we can start seeing that it's going to add more volume and cover to the leg, because you're actually covering what's going to be the articulation while still allowing it to fully move to the back, right? So we're not losing any connection itself here. With that, let's get to 2, or at least 1 2x2 plate in black, and we're going to use this brick here, this pin, Okay, okay. Okay, so it's going to give you, does it give you a warning that it doesn't allow you to do something, or it just allows you to do that while giving you the warning? Yeah, I know, neither are perfect. That's trust me that I know. But yeah, those are things that I mean made me curious about. So the plate, if you put it here, you start covering some of these builds at the side, and this I was thinking about how to do this also, right? You just get this piece, two pieces I'm going to put for this. So I put 2x1, 2x2 plate with a single pin. It could be either the round or the square one, it doesn't matter. Because what you're going to do is, with this pin at the side. Okay, so it does give you a warning. It allows you to do the connection, but it gives you a warning. Okay, that's interesting. So now let's use these two pins to put a single plate here, right? This is going to be an interesting build because it's not going to be an entirely correct fit, because I don't know if you see it, or perhaps you cannot see, it's hard to see, but this plate and this pin are not at the exact height. They're changed by a bit, by a small bit, but we're going to work on it as a safety, right? So it's going to allow this leg to connect this part and like attach it without, so you cannot remove the small leg without having to remove this brick. And the connection is going to be from this pin to this pin, to the middle one, right? Like this connection on LDD or that might be tricky on the fact that it's not exactly the same height. So it allows you to connect. It's not too tough to do, but it's not 100% the same side height. It does leave it a tiny, like a bit inclined. So do take that in consideration. Okay, so now we're starting to build plating for the leg, right? So you can see it's more cover while still maintaining like the shape, which is what we wanted. And we'll now work on adding another thing to the same leg, right? Like I did my homework this time, so I kind of know, or I have tons of ideas on how to work on this. Remember this the back side of the leg, it's not secure at all, so it's just the pins here. So you can either put the 3x2 inverted slope or two of the single 3x1s. I didn't find again the 3x2 while I was searching for it, but I'm going to just do singles because again I have a few of those. And I went with dark gray because I'm trying to go with, if it's coming from black, trying to go from dark to dark gray, and if it's coming from dark gray, you can either go back to black or light gray. Sorry, I was going to put it opposite direction. So if you can put it this way with the slope going down. Let me test it. Let me test that the knee works. Okay, so the knee still works. And you can add this, we're going to add details with this later, right? And again, the leg is starting to have some volume and shape added to it. We can replace these perhaps later with some gold pieces. Right now, that's the idea I had for it. And we're definitely going to add some details here in golden after. So what I'm pretty sure is I'm going to add some details here all over this place. But as it is right now, you can see the difference between one leg and the other. This one is more open. It doesn't look that great, but this one is starting to have some plating and shaping that's going to help us work with it, right? One second, I'm checking something real quick here. Okay, So let's replicate what we did with this leg on this other leg, right? It shouldn't be that complicated. It's just again a matter of finding the pieces, and I think, like I said, I kind of did my homework a bit this time. So I'm a bit confident about finding certain pieces. I put them all on this box, the ones I think I'm going to use. And the good thing is, if I need another piece, I just go back to my box, right? So we're going to be building again this. And building this at the back. And I'm going to use a 2x1 slope. Question: how do you like the music? Do you want to change to something else? I'm open to suggestions about the music. Or is it too low in volume? Do you want to turn it up or perhaps turn it down? Any suggestion is welcome. So now let's put this, the thing that we built, back here. Okay. And let's put the 2x2 plate with a single stud. And let's finish securing this bad boy in place, right? And for that I need a 2x4 plate. 2x4 again. Connection is on this under pin and this middle pin. With that we have a secure leg. And a single 2x2 plate on this under part or inside part of the leg, connecting on the end part of the square. I'm just doing the connection, it's a bit tight. See how it is? It's on the pen is on the last on this connection. And to start working on this one, again we're going to need 2 side plates in black. Okay, I found one. I know I have another one. And here's the other one. Okay, so perfect. We need to put it here on the upper side of this, and then connect it here at the top. And with this, we have replicated almost the entire design of the other leg on this leg. And to continue replicating what we built on the other leg, let's go on the back here. Let's move this part here, and again the 3x2 slope with the slope, the smaller part going to the smaller part of the leg or the lower leg. Just put the 2 connections there and lock it in with this. And now we have essentially better built legs for the design, right? Now what I want to try to do is try to fix the colors here a bit. So you can see it's going from a light gray, and it's a light gray at the back and in the middle. So let's try changing these 2 black pieces for dark gray pieces. That way you're going to have like a smoother color transition on the middle. And for that should be pretty simple. Just take out this, take out this part as well, and replace it with instead of a black one, put a dark gray here, and again put the two single 2x1 with a single pin at the top, and put this to lock it even further and get the shape. And the color for this is going to be better now. It's a better gradient from grays. And at the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. By the way, I did get a brick separator this time. I usually don't use it, but it's nice to have in case I need it. And let's remove this connection here. And let's replace, let me use it here. I don't want to blow out a nail, right? And let me take out the 2x1 in dark or in black, and let me put the dark gray. And let me do the connection again here. And let me put this under slope plate. And with that, we have fixed like a gradient issue that was here with black that I didn't like. So that's another thing we have fixed. Okay. So the other thing we're going to work on is perhaps, let me put a plate here, just so I don't see the studs here. A gray plate. We'll probably add some details here further, but I want to see how it's looking. And last week I remember I was trying things with the middle chest using like this glass piece. It just fell down, but I want to try something else. That something else is, again, don't want to have perhaps an entire glass shape. So again, a single 2x2 plate with a single pin, and this single disc that has a single plate that's like a curved. So it will look like this, and that I'm going to put as the chest piece for now, right? And starting to look a bit better, in my opinion. Other changes I want to make here as well. For example, here on this side plate build, I want to try something with this, like a single 2x2 with a single hole. And what I'll do with that is I'll add a single stud on the reverse on that hole. The thing is, on the pink, I don't have like single holes, single pin, single studs. So I have to work with flowers. And right now I have two types of flower. I'm going to try to work with the rounder one. And with that, I'll try to add some color spots here. And on the top, I'll just put a single 2x2 round plate. For now, right? I just want to see how it looks, and it does look a bit like the design, except for the golden. And I'll try to incorporate a bit of gold here and there. I'll see how I do that. On this arm, I'm probably not going to do that, and I'll show you why. Because I also thought about how to design the cape, the cloak. So what I'll probably do on this side is, instead of going with a 2x2 round plate here, I'll put the 2x2 plate on the side and a single slope here. And I'll show you why real quick. Because I want to put this hinged brick, the 2x1 brick hinge in black, and I'll put it here. Because I'll use this to make the connection to the cloak once it have it, and it'll allow it to move. So the designs on the arms are going to be a bit different. After all, not exactly the same, but just a tad different. And it's starting to get a nice look. I think, at least, it's starting to get a nice look. So let me know What do you think? The other thing I want to start working on is the head. I want to change the head, right? This was a placeholder, so I'll do some changes to it. This piece or this connection I'm not too fond of after looking for a long time. Where we left off is with the simple connection here, which is the brick that has the connection on all sides, a single clip and a single 1x1 clip connection, right? And the like tooth piece. And this here is just, again, I got a single 2x1 plate with a single slope in black and single slope in color. And what I thought about fixing, or how to fix the head, let's start bringing gold parts, because you see the central crest is golden, right? So I'm going to use that 2x2 gold plate and a single 2x1 plate with a single hole, and then we put this here and this back on this position. Why it's going to be in this position? Because we're going to put it in diagonal here, and if we put it on diagonal, we're going to have this plate creating filler for this part of the head. And now we have 4 pins to work on the head. And next, what I will try to do here is I'll use a single clip, a 1x1 clip in gold here at the top. That make the connection, and let me find the piece I want to use. It should be somewhere around here, but I cannot find it. So what I need here is another single 1x1 clip, the one with the round shape, right? And I'm gonna connect it here at the end part of or at the clip. And what I'll need is a 3x2 plate, 3x1 plate, and I'm gonna put it at the top here. And this part is interesting because I'm actually going to use a 2x1 plate with, that's the rounded one, the one that has the rounded corners, and I'll show you why it's the rounded corners in a minute. I'll put this one here, and this side is blue, so I'll need the blue. I'll need a blue 3x1 plate. Let me do this here, 3x1 plate, blue. And with this, we kind of have the shape we want. Let me replicate that on the other side. We have this here. And we have this piece here. Okay, so. Okay. So with this, we're starting to get the shape, or a better kind of looking shape to this. And the main thing about this, one of the things I like about this, is that you will eventually, I'll show you something real quick. Because we're having this curved piece and these two curved pieces here. Once this is attached, you can actually move this, right? This is going to be able to move. So we can have it, or give it a shape that's a bit more to the back. Now let's make a bit of coverage for this part, the back part. So what I did is, or I think I did is get a clip, another single 1x1 connection, and a single slope, cheese slope, this way. And we'll put it here, like so at the top, and let's put this bit up back. And I think you get a 2x1 with a single stud. Could be in black, could be in dark gray. Let's see which one I find first. I found the black one, the single 2x1 plate. Let's put it here at the back, right? And push this one further down. And with that, we can also put a single plate, a black plate, 2x2, here. So we're starting to give it a nice shape. And this is a nice trick I figure while building for the sword, but I decided to take it out and perhaps try this on the head. So these are corners, right? But the corners that have this shade off in black, or the plates. It allows us to do is, if we put 2 in this position, it allows us to do this neat shape at the top, which I find kind of cool. And now let's put a single, let's try with a single plate, a 1x1 plate, like this, in black. Let's try it here. And let's try shaping this a bit into the center. And now we're starting to get something that I like as a head. I like this design as a head way more than the one that we had before, right? What do you think? Do you like this head design? I've been thinking on it a bit, and I might change it a bit, and I'll show you why in a minute. Because if I want to add the dangles at the end, what I've thought about doing, and again, it might be the solution to that, but we're going to do 2 studs, single studs in black. Let me try to find one that doesn't have a hole, because the whole ones are more valuable in the fact that you can use it in different ways. Let me just find a single stud in black, like this. What I've thought about doing here is, we put a single dark or stud there, and then we find 2 clips. Let me just find the 2 clips. Again in black. Let me try them in black, like so. This connection, and we put again as it was here. Now we have a clip to put a dangle on the top. And let me try to find the piece that I want to use for that. What I want to find is, okay, so I need 2 of this. This is the, and golden would be better. So it's the single clip in golden. It's a piece that so this is the same piece in a different color, but I need 2 of that in golden. And I think I have them, honestly. I'm not sure, but I think I should. Again, like I said, I'm probably going to search for some pieces after all. So let me see if I can find that. On the meantime, let me know, what do you think about how the build is looking? It's starting to look like drawing, yes or no? Of course, we changed the colors, so the colors are not going to be the same, but what do you think? Okay, don't see it in golden. And somewhere here. If I don't find it, that's fine, because since I'm just designing, I'll probably just use the blue one and end up changing the color on the in the end of the design. But let's try with one side in a golden, right? And this is another big surprise, because remember when I said I was trying to see which color I want to use as a highlight? I found the color. I have very little pieces of this, but I'm gonna be using this bright green as a color highlight. It's gonna be used very little in overall the design, but as the tip of the dangle, like we have on the drawing, we're going to use a single tooth. And this is how it looks. And we're kind of keeping the shape of the head with the same dangle, right? We're keeping the color structure, the dangle with the tip, and of course we replace it with a white, so that's why we're going to use black. And this is how it's going to end up or kind of looking. The other thing that we're going to add were the tip of the feet. You can see here in the drawing that they have the same green highlight. So what we add to the feet are this tooth that I have of the same highlight color, right? This is going to be used super sparingly overall the design, like in really small amounts, but it's going to work as a highlight of a different color. And that's the idea of how I want to use it. It's not going to be used too much. It's going to be super sparingly. So what do you think? Do you like this this design of the head? Because for me it kind of works. It doesn't glow in the dark, but it looks like it could, which should tell you enough. Because the glow in the dark one is actually more white. I think I have some pieces right here that are glow in the dark. If they're not here, I have it somewhere. But I do have like 2 plates, 2 discs that are the glow in the dark one. But these ones have the color of the glow in the dark without being able to glow in the dark. They're super light green. Let me put some context or relation. This is by comparison, this is the lime green. So it's even lighter in green. Let's see if you can see. It's almost white. Yes, it's. I think I got it from Ninjago from the Ghost Samurai mech. So that might give you an idea of which green is that. But it's gonna be, again, use it sparingly on small parts of the build, like just dangles and details here and there. It's just a touch of different color that I think adds some value to the build. Well, I hope it does. Actually kind of like it, but I mean, and I'm gonna put these 2 pieces here. Again, I'm gonna use the blue one because I didn't find the golden one. I just, again, this is homework for next week. But I did want to build this connection here at the top, so I can show you how it could look or could end up looking. And it's kind of starting to work like, to look like the design, right? It's not perfect, it's not exact. I could change this for a golden plate. I'll search for one, as I'll single 1 by 1 plate, and it might work better here than the dark one. But it's starting to look better in my opinion. Let's see the 3/4 here. I think it's starting to have a nice shape to it. right? It's starting to look, in my opinion, quite better now. Okay, so next we'll start working on the side armor, okay? On the shoulder cloak. Like I said, today is going to be a very productive day. So first we'll start with this, with a ratchet connection, a single ratchet connection. Put it here on the side armor here. And next, what we'll do is we'll add a dual-sided clip 2x1, and then we'll go with this. This is like, I don't know how to call this piece. Is a 2x2 plate with a triple clip connection. And this is where we'll start building around it, right? Oh, I just dropped some pieces. 1 second. So first things first, let's add two 2x1 clips here, one at the front and one at the back, just that we can start building around. And two plates with the clips, the 2x1 plates here. One in the front, one in the back. Let's replicate that the most we can. And next, we're going to put a single the 2x1 that has the clip at the top and a single stud, together with a 2x1 clip. It's going to be here in the middle. And a single clip 2x1 with a 2x4 plate. And this is going to give like the main shape here. Now, for this part, we'll start working with the plates, or like the blades that we said that we're going to be detachable. And I have them here. Okay, so these are the ones I'm going to use. Let me show you. I'm going to be using 2 of this and 2 of this. Let me show them here. You see them? And for the connection, what I'll do is I'll make 4 of this. So this is a ratcheted joint with a 2x1 plate, a single length. And I'll put a single clip, 2x1 clip with a single stud. I'll do this 4 times, right? 1 for each blade. And what I'll do is I'll put them with the studs inside, right? And but the studs will be on the outside here. And I'll do this with all 4, same way. So with this, let's put the longer ones on this clip connections here. And the longer ones, or the smaller ones here, sorry. We'll just try to add shape to it. Yeah. And let me just try to shape it a bit. Oh, took it out. So now we kind of have like the cloak. or the arm cloak armor. It's not definitive. Definitely could use some time tuning up. And I'm definitely going to test it a bit more with this, but it's starting to get the correct shape, right? And the correct function that we want, because we wanted to cover the arm. So we might have to do this a bit longer. But these are kind of the plates I wanted to use, because these are the plates that are going to give the shape, and they're going to be detachable and work as plates. So if they detach, they can work as plate this way. So if we detach the 4 blades, this is the shape the mech's still going to have. So it's going to have something like this. And remember, this arm detaches to carry the sword. So if we detach it, something like this, this is how it's going to look. Oh, well, let me try something real quick. Because if I add something like this here, I'm gonna try adding this, like the life guard, and then if it has a stud on the side. If I put a plate here, it will have more coverage as well. So it's going to start having volume and shape. So basically, this is how, with everything detached, this is how it would look. With the 4 pin blades detached and the arm detached. This is how it's going to start looking, right? And if we build it up again, just have to put the arm here. Right now I'm working on it. I'm trying to see if right now that's what I came out with this, about how we're going to build it. I'm still thinking about what shapes or type of shape I can give it, or if I'm going to have an alt build or something like that. Right now I'm just working on trying to figure out the shape, and the way that it covers the arm while still having like kind of the shape I want, right? So now I'm just trying to figure out like the correct shape, or that it works kind of how it was drawn on design. Because right now this is how it's going to, or it's looking right now. So it kind of covers the arm. I cannot lay it down because it moves this part, but ideally this is how it's going to look, or starting to look. The cape. And I think we have advanced quite a bit, right? It's starting to get the look and feel of the build. See the arm? It's covered. We can cover more. I can work on that. I'll probably add another one of these, like a clip here, and proceed to add put these straps? Up here. And proceed to add something like this. Like this cover with a single clip, and put it here. That way it kind of covers the arm. You see it? So it's covering that with this. The only thing I'm not too convinced is that the fact that these two plates are coming on the outside, I would like to have them come down. But I do want to have something like a middle connection. So I'm still figuring out if this is the correct connection, but for now, it's going to have to do, right? And it's starting to look like the cloak. But let's just detach it for a minute so we can work on the build, continue working with the build. Well, what do you think so far? I think right now we're advancing at a much faster pace than last week's, because we're actually working on many of the coverage that we had. Now for the back, what do I want to add to the back? I do have to change the color of these white pieces. I'll do that. I'll find the replacements later this week. But for now, I want to cover this. So for this, I'll just use this 2 slope, and I think I'm going to need, for this, it's probably going to be 2. So 2 studs. I'm just going to use pieces here to test this. So two plates here, and the plates here. I thought about it. The thing is, how do I connect the 2 pieces here while still looking black? Because the ball joints do not have any black connection. And keeping them that they detach simply, because here with clips you can detach them quite simple. Ball joints are not that easy to detach. So what I was thinking as an alternative to this is this part on itself I like, because it's quite movable, quite straight. But what I was thinking is I'm gonna use something gray just to test it. I'll end up using the black one. It's something like this. Putting this 2 by this pin here and reversing this, so I can do this. Right? It's gonna be a single connection with this still at the bottom. The problem I see with that is that actually it doesn't look bad. Let me try that. It actually doesn't look that bad. It still works. The other thing is there's these 2 overlap a bit. I'm thinking perhaps there's a way to change that while still remaining, or having them be super detachable. But as they are right now, they cover the arm and they do the function. And I'm still seeing how I'm going to decorate all this part. But as a piece, it allows the arm to move, right? And still provides the coverage. So I do have some things to work around it. I like using ball joints. Trust me, they're my favorite parts to use. But I think for that, they're too hard to detach or attach, which is why I might try a different solution at the end. Just a thought. But yeah, that might be something I had to work on. Now let me try and search real quick for a single 1x1 golden plate. I think I might have one. I have one in the bright gold, which should actually work. Looking at it, making it look much better. So let's replace the central here at the head with a gold one. Like so. So it's gonna start looking like this. I might end up adding some volume here. I think it's going to be needed, and probably on the color that I want to, on the respective color of each side, I might add some volume there, like this. But this 2 pieces and some of these 2 pieces. And I need a single stud, a single plate, like a single 2x1. With this, let me try find another one in black. Oh, so it won't fly, but I caught it. Real quick. Let me try here, replacing this half pyramid with this plate, like so. This provides a better coverage, and it also provides the color continuation. It looks kind of like the drawing too. Let me check that link. And let's put the sword next to it. It's starting to look good. That's some things I'm not happy completely, so I have to change. But it's not looking bad. For example, yeah, I know what you mean. You mean about, but it's not a ball joint, so it's going to be something like this. Let me find the type of piece that is. So you mean this piece, right? Two of this with two of these. This is what I mean, right? And basically like this. And this will replace this. Like that, right? Yeah, I got, just as I saw the drawing, I understood exactly which pieces you were referring to. So doing this, but the thing is, these claws usually don't have that much of friction. So with this weight, they're too flimsy. They cannot stand for poses. That's the only downside. I mean, they will work, they will connect, but it's a bit too flimsy in that aspect. It will look like this. Something like this. It does look good, I'm not saying no. The only problem I have with that is that they're too flimsy. I'll try to see if I can find two claws that have a bit more friction. They usually don't have that much of a friction on their own. So they're going to be moving way too much. By the way, I said it earlier, but the soundtrack is from Persona 3. No, sorry, not Persona. Shin Megami Tensei 3. So if any of you have played that game, you're still cool. If you have not played that, I recommend you to play that game. I think it was re-released on Switch and PS4 not so long ago. No, I mean, I'm probably going to keep it because it looks better than what I had before. And thank you for that tip. It was by no means a bad tip. I like it more than what I had. It's just I have to figure out how to add friction to that. That's all. And again, some pieces do have friction. This one does. But the other ones don't, right? So it's just a matter of finding perhaps the ones that have the most friction and work with those. That's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 3, the story is crazy. I think all Shin Megami Tensei, the story is crazy, but that was the first one I played. After that, I went to, I believe it was Persona, as the next Atlas game I played. Let me try that in the pyramid here and see how it works. But Shin Megami Tensei is just mad. It's just crazy. I love it. And I remember playing it mostly because it had the Dante was featured as a secret character, and I thought for some reason it was going to be some action game. I started playing it. I fell in love with it. But honestly, I tried it only because of Dante. So, and I went to a wormhole of Atlas games after that one because I liked it so much. So I don't regret playing it at all. So this is how it's going to probably look. And of course, I still have to add some coverage to all the platings here. So I'm probably going to add more of this, add some slopes and plates all over the place, like so, like this plate here. And perhaps this plate here. I think I can use a slope here, perhaps. I'm trying to find the piece. But I think that's going to be, well, I don't have the slopes, but I can try finding them for the next session. But I'll just add two plates here as placeholders, right? And again, next to the sword. Honestly, it's not looking bad, not bad at all. So let me put a side view here real quick. 3/4. Take this right here. It kind of looks like the drawing, doesn't it? It's not perfect one by one representation, but it's starting to. It looks like it in many ways. Of course, we changed some parts of the design, but it's starting to look the part, at least. Let me change a white part. I know I have the replacement real quick here. And with this, what do you think? To me, it's starting to take the shape. How about it? How about you? Let me try making it stand. See if it can go to the stand test. Yeah, I know, like I said, I'm never going to get the perfect sketch, but I always try to do as close as I can. It could stand. The problem is the friction of the ball joints at the talons. It's too flimsy, so I have to perhaps replace this, because right now they don't give any kind of support. So I have to figure out how to change that. Oh, but thanks. Yes, I do take pride in the fact that I always try to get as much as possible to the original idea. Of course, they're always changed, like we changed the white, but okay, it doesn't stand right now. I have to do some work on it so I can stand, and that's probably one of the things I'm going to work on to make it stand. But for now, let's work on adding a bit of more detail before we go. Because I know I can add some a bit more flair to it. So I'm searching for ninja blades. Sorry, ninja stars. Oh, I found another one of these, so I can change the cowl or the head piece. Okay, I got 3 stars. I know I have one more somewhere around there, but the thing is I want to use them here on the legs. I want them to work as a cover here. And that's the purpose of this. It's going to look like details, and I'm going to add more golden details at the end here. So basically I need more golden pieces to build that. And that's the thing. I'm going to have to see which golden pieces I have available to do that exactly. Ideally, I would like golden plates, but I think they are using all the designs. But I could end up going a different route, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Oh no, it's not done at all. I'm still working on seeing how I can do that. I mean, the head is not too far. The thing is, I made on the design the neck was wider, so I still have to work on on things to fix that. But the thing is, these shoulder plates were also bigger, so I might add some volume here, which is why you see that the neck is not so. The neck length is, I think, is correct, but it's not correct. It's this width, the width of this armor here. So that's probably what I'm going to work. And it's not done. I mean, I still think there are 2-3 sessions left on this build. Because right now we advance a lot, but it's not done. Trust me on my process here. This is still kind of raw. Because I kind of overwork my, and the last sessions are just going to be like nitpicking, basically, like going over the details, small details, and try to see how I can work on them and how to add small details here and there. That's basically what's the end results. Okay, so let me see if I can have 4 of these golden plates. I mean, at least 4 for the idea I want to implement. Okay, I have 3 here. I do have some plates here, golden. But I will try to add. So what I will try to do here is, this is why I might need some additional dark pieces too, because I want to add these blocks, golden blocks here. I go in the back to add the design like on the drawing, perhaps going here. Oh no, that's fine. Thank you. But the thing is, I got your point, because knowing what you said, I know I have to work on this piece, this part, right? This part is still something I need to work on, and I know that. And thank you for that input. But I just figure out how I think I will do that. So if I do this golden plates here, kind of work on like on the side, and I just have to find like another couple of this, like this ones, and put them here and the plating, and that could work as a cover. But I'm not gonna search for them right now, because I know I might not find them. But the thing is, it's working on details. Now the work is getting the details to be correct, right? And the devil's on the details. So it's that's the biggest part I'm gonna take to work on now. It's getting all those details correct. Like, for example, I know how to add details here at the back of the legs to be golden a bit more. I need to do plating here at the back, change this. I need to add more details at the back at all, completely. I need to figure out more details here at the center. I think I need to work on the knees, and I need to work on the feet as well. And the head, I still think it needs some work. It's not perfect, so it's going to need a bit more work on mine. I have the idea of that. Perhaps replacing this circle to 1 by 1 with golden. I think I have the pieces. I have to search for it. But those are things I'm thinking about how will I do them. I'm trying around now, adding a bit of detail here. No, I don't like it, but it's all about trying. But yeah, I think for today, that's it. Honestly, I'm a bit sleepy because last night was a kind of a fake earthquake alarm here in my city. So I was I'm a bit tired because I didn't sleep too well last night. But wait, so I'll try to think about this because this part, the part after this, it's more about thinking what I'm going to do more than doing it. So I do have a lot to think of. Again, sword next to it. Honestly, I think it's starting to look good. Yeah, it was a fake alarm. The problem was that it was more scary than what it was actually was. So we're fine. Thanks for asking. But I mean, those types of alarm just give you more fear than anything else, perhaps. And yeah, it's about right now. I'm a bit tired, but super happy because I advanced a lot on this. And hey, I'm super happy about this. What do you guys think? Um, I think I'm super happy with the progress we made today. So I think I'll leave it here. And next week we'll start on the last phase of the design. And by last I don't mean it's going to take one session and done. No, it's probably the one that I always keep. I put more work in because it's all about adding details. If it don't work, take them back and perhaps testing something else. This the more the part that's coming next is the more tricky one, but it's for me it's the one that's the most fun. Yes, I mean, the thing is, I understand what you mean, but the thing is, we were part of a big earthquake about 2 3 years ago. I don't remember now. Oh, and I remember that one was bad, and I had to walk from work to my house, and on the walkthrough, I I, I saw two buildings that were down, right? And there was no power. All the roads were blocked. Everyone was walking home. There was no public transportation. I was not able to call my family, so I ran. So yeah, the fear is that I was part of a big earthquake. So I've lived through that. That's why the fear comes. But I cannot imagine the fear that came from the missile warning. I would start panicking if I hear that, honestly. But yeah, we advance a lot. If you let me, I think I have a picture here. Let me show you that about where we were when we started the stream and where we are now. The changes are astronomical. Oh, it's in Twitter. Let me get that real quick. But yeah, next stream I'll take some time to show you how this sword works, because basically the, this is an entire build to give volume and shape, while this isn't like it works as an energy sword, right? So I'll give you how I made this. It's not complicated, super simple, but the idea is that seeing how it comes together, right? With the picture here, I'll do the small comparison and we'll be done for today. But while I wait to do that, I do want to thank you for joining, especially on days like today where we advance a lot. It was great having you here, especially on the feedback, because this feedback gives me idea that I would have never tried this connection. So I'm really happy about that. And thank you for joining. It's always fun Thanks. I'm glad it wasn't too bad. It was just a war, like a fake. So even if I was scared, I was happy it was nothing worst. So I do count I do take that in consideration. So it was not bad, and that I'm happy about that. I was scared, not gonna lie, but having gone through worse things, I'm more than happy about that. That trade-off. Okay, so let me just, I downloaded the picture. Let me just get that real quick. Okay, so this is where we started this session, and this is where we are right now. I think a lot of work was done, honestly. There's still more work to do, but thank you for joining me here, because this is quite an advance in progress about this. So next session, we're starting on the gribbling, on the details. So it should be fun. Yes, so we take the warnings more seriously, but the fear is bigger. Of course, the fears also makes you go and do better things, because you know the first thing you went through, you know you made so many mistakes. You'll work through them. Honestly, I don't wish anyone to go through something like this. But once you've gone through one and you're fine. I was lucky enough to be fine, and my whole family was fine. You start to be grateful about a lot of things. So in parties, which is why I'm grateful for this, for having this, having a hobby, having you with me, watching, talking about this while working. So I'm grateful for many things, this being one of them. So thank you for that. And with that, I'll end the session here. Thank you so much for joining. We'll keep working next week, same day, Wednesday, and I hope that you have fun. Have a great weekend. What's the rest of the weekend, and talk to you next week. Bye.